All right, Ric Bucher covered the NBA for 27, 30 years, something like that. I saw the story yesterday.
You don't have to start there, but go ahead.
We're going to dinner tonight.
Yes.
But I want to start with this. Darvin Ham.
Yes.
This is the headline. Mm-hmm. Who wrote that? The Athletic. Darvin Ham will have the power to bench Russell Westbrook if he stays with the Lakers. So I always have this belief that stories get out when somebody wants them out.
Sure.
And the last 3 stories about Westbrook have been LeBron's over Westbrook, Dave McMenamin. Westbrook didn't like being called out in film sessions, The Athletic. Darvin Ham will have the right to bench Westbrook. So my feeling on this is the Lakers want him out. They want him out of the franchise. They're trying to humiliate him or marginalize him, and for him to go, I'm not showing up, I'm out. Because they think he's too toxic. I, by the way, do not think he's a starter for a decent NBA team anymore. I think he's a bench player. Maybe I'm wrong on that. What is your takeaway on this story?
If that is indeed their strategy, it's not a good one.
Okay.
Because you're poisoning the waters, and the challenge here is not that Russ doesn't want to go someplace else, is that you don't have a landing place for him.
Yeah.
So this idea that you're going to create this idea that, we're doing everything we can to get him out of here, when the Lakers aren't in the greatest of shape. This is the challenge with a player of Russ's magnitude, is that by and large, players believe that if I'm the best player at my position, I should start. Now, there are exceptions. Manu Ginobili is one of those, but they're rare, where a player says, I get it, I see the larger scheme of the team, I see where we would be better served if I came off the bench. There's too much ego involved here. And Russ looks around at this Lakers franchise, this Lakers roster, and says, okay, you want me to come off the bench? Who's starting ahead of me and why? I also believe that there's a counter effect here where the one thing that Russ gave you was that he 8 minutes. Like, he's available.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays.
That's when the trade was made.
Yes.
I said AD and LeBron are hurt.
Yes.
He'll be productive and play 37 minutes.
Right. So if you're bringing him off the bench, that's inherently going to reduce the numbers he's able to play.
Right.
So, look, there are no easy solutions. And you can play mind games with Russ Westbrook if you want. But the Russ Westbrook that I know that just fired his agent and hired a new one is not a Russ Westbrook look, he comes in, more so than anybody else, he comes in with a chip on his shoulder.
Sure.
Because of how he was treated at UCLA, how he was viewed coming into the league, is you're not all that. So this idea that we're now going to, humiliate you and that's going to be our way to get a relationship?
But, I mean, it seems like that's what they're trying to do. Why do these stories keep getting out? He's not leaking them. There's no way he's not leaking them.
I believe it's a matter of trying, and at least this one in particular, it's the attempt to give Darvin Ham authority. We're giving this to Darvin Ham. Yes, he's first-time head coach. Yes, he has no track record, but we're going to let him run this team as he sees fit. And Russ, we're letting you know that we're going to let Darvin run this team as he sees fit. That's the only explanation that I have. But all of this machination, what good teams do you know that play mind games in the public sphere to try to get things done? Well,
I've said this before, that Los Angeles right now has so many well-run organizations. LAFC, Dodgers, Rams. They're really well-run organizations. And that, UCLA basketball, the collegiate level, they're really well-run. I think the Clippers are well-run. They just can't stay healthy.
Yep.
That the Lakers are feeling increasingly a little Dallas Cowboy-ish, where there's too many friends and family on the staff. It's too insular, and I don't necessarily think they feel. It is interesting. The Lakers, to me, this is so odd to say, feel small in Los Angeles. Yeah. The Dodgers feel like global. I mean, their research, their development, their minor leagues, they're winning. The Rams feel like they're culturally changing the league.
Yeah.
LAFC is like this North American soccer brain trust. The Clippers have taken a macabre franchise and really turned it into a thoughtful organization. They just can't stay healthy. And the Lakers feel like the country store and the kids are running it, and I just don't trust them all the time.
I think you've really hit on something, because that used to be the secret sauce for the Lakers, is that it was Dr. Buss's team, and he was personally involved.
Yeah.
And it was handshake, and you're part of the family, and we're going to make it work that way. And I believe that we have evolved into a place. First of all, the Lakers created a brand and a presence so much larger than that, this global entity. But now the dynamics of how you run a franchise, a successful sports franchise, has changed. There are a lot more dynamics involved. It is far more of a business than it's ever been. It can't be a family-run type approach. And the Lakers are still stuck in that mindset that that's how we had our success. That's how we became what we are. And so what else do we have to stick with what we know. And you're right. I mean, just look at all of the pieces, all of the people. The Rambuses are intimately involved.
Yeah.
Former Laker.
Nice people.
And friends with Jeannie Buss.
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka, agent of Kobe. Like, it's all, it's whether it's the Dallas Cowboys or it's the Raiders under Al Davis, it's like we're just going to have people that we know and that we're familiar with that are going to be part of our operation. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the absolute best.
Yeah. So the whole Nets thing now is we talked about it for 3 weeks. He gave us content. I always tell Joy, I'm loyal to content.
Yep.
So, I mean, the MJ documentary during the pandemic is, I feel like I owe Michael Jordan's got enough money. I owe him a check for saving our butts for about 8 weeks. KD, Kyrie, thanks for the content. But in the end, it looks like to me, Kyrie especially is going back to the Nets. There's no market, and KD probably is.
Yeah. Well, I would say that KD, my bet would be that he's with the Nets at the beginning of next season.
Okay, so beginning, he'll be with them.
Yes.
Now,
going forward.
So you think that basically they're both back, and it's interesting. I made this assertion about a week ago. I like KD a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a pivot point in the NBA where a lot of executives look at the best teams and they're the best cultures. Milwaukee, Boston, Phoenix, Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And KD is getting lumped in with Kyrie and Harden and Simmons, Westbrook, as difficult and a diva. I don't think he is. But I think sometimes in life, you get judged by the company you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And KD has been lumped into this, he's a lot of work.
Yeah.
He plays hard. He plays defense. He shows up.
Yeah.
He can lead.
Yeah.
I think the problem leaving Steph to Kyrie is now we think of you as kind of, you think like Kyrie and nobody wants anything to, is it fair?
Well, I would say that there's reason. I wouldn't put KD as the model citizen. There's not drama around KD. He doesn't change his mind. He doesn't have diva-like tendencies. I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't say that that's not the case. But lumping him into the idea that he doesn't want to play or he's not loyal or look, this is my greatest issue with what's going on is that we had one report that KD, not KD being quoted, one report that KD asked to be traded.
Okay.
After James Harden leaves, Kyrie, the Nets are like, we're not extending you and we're certainly not giving you a max contract. Like all of that goes sideways. Ben Simmons, they're having a team chat before Game 4, thinking he's going to play against the Boston Celtics. And from what I'm told, Ben just left the chat. They asked him, are you going to play? Ben left the chat. Like he didn't even answer the question. Just left the chat. And Katie's like, this is what I signed up. Like, this is who I'm playing with, and asked to be traded. Now, he has not reiterated it. And what I know about guys who really want to be traded, who go, I'm done with this situation, is they keep beating the drum. And they don't request, they demand, and they let everybody know, I am not staying. That's not what KD has done. So all of this that's been extrapolated, like, KD has never left a team in the middle of a contract to this point. He's always done it when he's a free agent. And you may disagree with the choices that he's made, but he's taking on a lot. Now, you also can't instantly make a culture.
Yeah.
And the Brooklyn Nets don't have one right now.
No, they blew up their chemistry to get these guys.
Exactly. And they let Kyrie and KD basically set the tone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues there, but KD's not at the top of the list, I would say.
Random question, wrap it up. Have you ever taken a psychedelic drug?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I think they're dangerous.
Once.
All right. When?
College.
this is apropos of the Aaron Rodgers situation, where I don't think celebrities should talk about him a ton. If you're going to do it, I think they're
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Well, yeah, they're dangerous. I mean, people have died. So,
yes. And I don't feel like I'm enlightened as a result of it or that I'm special. I did a lot of stupid things in college. That was one of them.
What was it?
Yes.
Wow. I feel like
we're friends.
I took yes, we're friends on national TV. I guess it's like a tab of acid.
All right.
Window pane.
I would have
whatever.
no idea.
Yeah.
Slick
So
Rick.
you took it, and you went. How was
it was quite the experience.
Did you go into another realm, or did you?
No, but I was with a bunch of college friends, and we went out to a club, and there was I don't know how deep I want to go on this.
Yeah,
there was
go deep, please.
There was
nothing but time.
There was a pimp and one of his I don't know his I don't want to say client, but one of his hookers, and they were having a hard time, and we thought we should go over and rescue her. Oh, that was one of the thoughts.
That was post.
That was one of the thoughts
that
we had during that time.
You know, that was not a pimp. That was actually a waiter, and she was a client.
It very well may have been.
So post acid, there was a pimp and a client.
Yeah.
All right. Well, was this at Applebee's? Where was this at? And I'm not mocking you.
It was a club. It wasn't a restaurant. You know what it might have been?
What?
This was quite some time ago. I'm not having flashbacks at this point.
Although, what decade?
80s.
And you didn't advertise this?
Oh, hell no.
You didn't speak about it?
This is the first time I've told this story.
You don't encourage others?
No.
Listen, we have a consumption issue in America. I am always very concerned when people say, don't take the vaccine, take this other thing.
Right.
We have a consumption problem. I have a problem when people say, I found my purpose in life with a psychedelic drug. My thing is they're called mental health professionals.
Yes.
To get your mentals right. I think there's a certain responsibility of power as a public figure.
Well, and I would say this, and this is what's kind of tricky about doing this on national TV.
Yeah.
And we're obviously discussing this because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And this goes with anybody that has any celebrity or recognition level.
Yeah.
What you say impacts other people.
Oh, yeah. They
to a great degree. You are given an authority that you don't necessarily deserve, but they think you have.
Oh, yeah. That's why people are critical of Joe Rogan saying, don't trust the epidemiologist.
Right.
This is why.
Right.
Yes.
So there's a responsibility for anybody who has the identity that an Aaron Rodgers or anybody, any of us has to recognize that when you say something, people take it. They're not going to do their own investigation. They're going to think that you're an authority somehow.
Well, no, when you read the quotes from
dangerous.
Aaron in that podcast, absolutely thousands of people will try that.
Right.
And they will will get really sick.
And he's responsible for that.
That's why I don't like that. I agree. I think you now, and by the way, you did not have to confront, well, I wouldn't say your demons. You did not have to tell that story. I think it's interesting, and I think it's authentic of you to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more at dinner about the pimp. That part of it was sort of an interstate exit that I'm fascinated with.
Yeah. I wish we'd had the conversation at dinner.
Big J journalism over here.
Well, I mean, listen, our job is to dig deep and to get stories from people that are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, mission accomplished on this show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.